Hey gang, I want to talk to you about using your mindfulness practice, or like how should you approach the thought process of your mindfulness practice? Is it something that's sort of like this end all be all? If you can't hit Zen when you're sitting in lotus pose, are you really meditating? Or are you really doing mindfulness practice? Um, and I think that's a really narrow way to think about it. There's no real perfect way to do mindfulness. If your brain gets distracted, it means you're probably doing it right, as long as you bring it back to that breath. And that bringing it back to the breath, I like to think of it as, like if your mind is wandering, you're like thinking, what am I going to eat for dinner today? What is that thing that I was supposed to do? What did I forget to do, say, or whatever all that, those random thoughts that kind of like veer in and out. And when you bring your attention back to your breath, I'd like to think of that as a rep, a single rep. And through a mindfulness practice, you keep doing reps and you keep bringing it back to the breath and you bring that attention back where it needs to go. And that is really important because that's a controlled environment. And I like to think of it as an analogy is when you go to a CrossFit class and you work on deadlifts, you're practicing how to do a perfect deadlift. Very rarely in life will you have a barbell-shaped object that you need to pick up. It's usually odd objects, usually it's pencil, and it's usually not mid-shin. It's usually from the ground, so you need to go all the way deep down to pick it up. And working on barbell deadlifts is really good practice because it gives you a standardized weights. It gives you a repeatable structure, that barbell-shaped object that's equally weighted on both sides. That's really important to teach you how do you approach picking heavy stuff up off the ground. And it's awesome if you deadlift 400 pounds, but if you only use that proper form of flat back, little bend in the knees, like that good deadlift form. If you only do that with a barbell, but you throw your back out picking up a yoga block, that's because you do it with a curled in, stupid crow spine. That tells me that you're not using the functional aspect of this training method. You're trying to be better in life, not just in that 1 hour. Don't confuse CrossFit for sport for CrossFit for life. And CrossFit for life will teach you how to do stuff: pick up kids, pick up random objects, pick up heavy stuff, do gardening better. And that is really what's the most valuable part of it. It gives you a grammar and a language to approach how do you move in the other 23 hours of the day. And in the same way, a mindfulness practice not necessarily teaches you, but allows you a standardized, structured environment to practice mindfulness, so that when you go off into the real world, go off into work or family or whatever, you can try to see where you can inject that mindfulness in. It's something where you can be like, oh, I'm kind of reacting badly right now. I need to take a moment, take a breath, and then respond, not react. And that's a rep in the real world. Sort of like, if you're a mom with a baby trapped under the Volkswagen, you hopefully have been deadlifting some heavy stuff so that you know how to approach the bumper of the Volkswagen to pick it up. And the same way, if you're in an argument, you're in a very stressful situation, you know how to be mindful. That translation is, it's not just the practice. The practice is just a practice, but it's not where you derive the most benefit. It's how do you apply that practice in the rest of your day. So consider that. It is something that I've been thinking about a lot, and I've been trying to inject mindfulness throughout my day, but it's still very difficult to find ways to incorporate it more regularly. That's the hard part. It's easy to sit down 5 minutes. It's easy to find 5 minutes to do a little bit of a practice, do some box breathing, get to a 12 count, be real proud, like, oh yeah, I've never been to a 12 count, this is awesome. I've been holding my breath for like a minute per breath. That's cool and grand, but if you can't, if I can't compose myself before coaching a class, if I can't compose myself before making an important phone call, or when talking to my family, or when talking to friends or loved ones, then what real value is there in a box breathing practice if I can't make myself more mindful when it really counts, not just when I'm doing weird stuff on my own. Consider that. Enjoy.